Welcome to Daily Dose. In this video we are going to talk about the things that Trump predicted and came true. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for future updates. Throughout his rambling interview with Time magazine, Donald Trump repeatedly stated that he predicted Brexit. He mentioned Brexit 11 times in all, yet the interviewer didn't bring it up once. Throughout the discussion, Trump was adamant about demonstrating a near mystical ability to anticipate the future. When the interviewer asked if he'd like a quick recap of his story so far, Trump responded by firing off a list of his predictions so far: Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner from Sweden, Hillary's email saga, Brussels is not Brussels, and Bernie Sanders' campaign for president is not rigged. He didn't say why, but it appeared like all of these things had come to pass. I foresaw a number of things, Michael, he said, some of which came to you later. The prediction that makes Trump the most proud is Brexit. Despite the fact that the interviewer never asked, he couldn't resist reminding the interviewer that he had foreseen it. If this forecast could be turned into a badge, you can bet he'd wear it every day. The reporter questions Trump on his reputation for lying in one case, asking, "Do you worry about your lack of credibility? What if you referenced things that turned out to be incorrect, and there is a true emergency? Name the problem," Trump retorted, "I mean, honestly." The interviewer began to react, Fox News said, but Donald drew his trump card for the sixth time: Brexit. Just a moment. Brexit was anticipated by me. It was as if months later, Trump was still unable to accept that he had correctly anticipated Brexit, amazed at his own capacity to foresee the future. He declared in April 2016, 2 months before the vote, that he believes Britain would leave the EU. But this wasn't just any forecast for Trump. He believes that being correct once implies he'll never be wrong again. Trump's claims of foresight cast a new light on his alternative facts. What if the lies we react angrily to, that Trump was wiretapped, that 3 million undocumented people voted in the election, that terrorists invaded Sweden, and so on, aren't necessarily lies, but rather not yet truths, fake news rather than fake news? Perhaps such is Trump's hope, that by making a prediction public, the accompanying chaos will make it more likely to happen. Trump will rarely, if ever, make a prediction that he does not want to come true. Declarations of apocalypse increase the likelihood of doomsday. As a result, Trump claims to be able to foresee the future. People are often skeptical of his predictions, he told the Time magazine interviewer, but, take Brexit, have I mentioned Brexit? For example, I said no, Brexit would happen, and everyone scoffed, and Brexit did happen. There are a lot of things like that. They proved to be correct. It isn't just about Brexit. Trump recalls being totally blasted when he called Brussels a hellhole over a year ago. They had the massive attack in Brussels a short time later. Is this a coincidence? Impossible. When Trump said that a terrorist incident occurred in Sweden, everyone goes crazy, but the next day, 2 days later, they had a big riot in Sweden. Precisely what I was talking about, I was right about that. The journalist for Time explains to Trump exactly what he means. Now you're saying you were talking about something that happened the next day. Yes, I have a tendency to be correct. I'm an intuitive person who also happens to understand how life works. I predicted that I would win the election, and I did. Before a race is run, confident declarations of triumph are as old as racing itself. But there's something startling about the new breed of right-wing nationalists sweeping the world stage, and it's not just Trump, they all profess to see society's fate so plainly. Trump, Geert Wilders, Marine Le Pen, and Nigel Farage all speak about civil war, breaking points, terrorist assaults, Armageddon, and overburdened public services in their vision of the future. It also involves them winning. The future brightens, and a glorious past is resurrected. Their doomsday stories require disaster, so when it occurs, their wrath is only equaled by their smug satisfaction. Trump and his carnival prophets love nothing more than to be able to declare, "I told you so." This phrase has been tweeted 28 times by Trump. It makes no difference how heinous the event is. Farage tweeted on March 22, 2017, that the terrorist assault in Westminster had left him extremely disturbed and depressed, but that he was sadly not surprised. Last year, he tweeted about a similar tragedy in Berlin, saying, "Sad news from Berlin, but no surprise." Farage, like Trump, sees himself as a fortune teller. When I came here 17 years ago, and said I wanted to lead a campaign to get Britain to leave the European Union, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? Farage raged at the European Union Parliament following Brexit. Farage declared himself the spark for the destruction of the Blairites, the Clintonites, and all these horrible individuals after Trump's triumph. This is definitely part of his image. Despite his dishonesty and lies, Farage is the only one who can glimpse the future. The UK Independence Party, UKIP, created a film called Nigel Farage Predicted Everything in 2014. It lasted 35 minutes and was scored by strings worthy of Steven Spielberg. It painted Farage as a forerunner of EU doom, a political mystic Meg. Brexit and Trump's win are now being interpreted as evidence that this dark and delicious future is approaching. These successes have fueled their fire, and right-wing nationalists are dancing around it, smiling and singing as they wait for the storm to arrive. Marine Le Pen sees a new universe being formed in the flames, where the European Union will die. Farage believes we are at the start of a worldwide revolution. But make no mistake, these are planned forecasts. The more the public accepts their doomsday predictions, the more logical their regressive agendas appear, and the more likely they are to be elected or re-elected. What we are witnessing today is the birth of a new political system, and the more frantic a few of media elites become, the more dominant that new political order becomes, Trump's top strategist Steve Bannon said. But let's not diminish Trump's accomplishments. Maybe he's right, and he does have his own special prophecy power. He told a Time magazine interviewer, "I'm an instinctual person, but my instinct turns out to be right." He predicted that he would win the election, and he was correct. He predicted that the Brexit campaign would triumph, and he was correct. So, what's next? With bated breath, we anticipate his next prediction. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.